Coverage of the World Series of Poker is back with the 2014 big one-for-one drop. Poker's heavy hitters take to the tables in hopes of taking home the platinum bracelet. The World Series of Poker 2014 big one-for-one drop, Tuesday at 8 and 9 on ESPN. SteveTorrence now and Tony Schumacher, a couple of the high horsepower cars. Of course, they're all high horsepower cars nowadays. Ace, when you started, what was the horsepower equivalent of a nitro engine?
Oh, wow. I couldn't even venture a guess at that. I know that when we first started running a top fuel, a blown Chrysler top fuel car, I mean, the pro stock cars today would smoke them, you know. But it's changed so much since the early days. But,
well, I've always said when I got my nitro license in 1976, I went 653 at like 215 miles per hour. Well, you know, pro stocks run quicker than that right now.
I mean, we're talking 2, 3, 4,000 horsepower, and now we've gone to 10.
Probably
in that neighborhood.
Something like that.
Seem to hear that quite a bit.
Now, right now with Tony Schumacher, as I mentioned in the first round, very good car in qualifying, very consistent. We talked about the second round being his Achilles heel. Seems like when he gets past the second round, he goes on to win the race. So, and it's a situation, I think, Ace, too, where it is just so critical. I mean, they came out and made a very good pass in the first round, but the track conditions are much different now.
That's true, but you know, the Schumacher guys, they've been struggling a little bit this year. I sat and talked with Mike Green last night. You know, we've maintained a good friendship, but you know, Mike is feeling better. They're starting to get some performance back. They're peaking at the right time. They'll be fine.
SteveTorrence's crew chief Richard Hogan put in the same setup for this round as in the first round. He said he'd watch a couple pair and then decide what to do with the clutch timers, but he wouldn't tell me what he did after he did it.
I bet he slowed them down. Not enough.
Yeah, it's Tony Schumacher who wins his 682nd round of racing. That puts him third on the all-time round list. Broken tie with the legend, not Eddie Ace McCullough, but Kenny Bernstein. He's pretty good too.
Another look at it, you're going to see SteveTorrence out there just, you know, that shake zone from 60 feet to about 150 feet. That is critical. Sometimes very hard to get through there in today's.
You guys talk about it all the time, and that shake can come from two things. It can be from lack of power, you know, not enough wheel speed, or be too much wheel speed.
We've got some great semifinals today in Top Fuel in the Sonoma Nationals as Khaled Belushi picks his lane against Richie Crampton. On the other side, Sean Langdon, the other Alanabi car, picks his against Tony Schumacher. Stat guy, Lewis Bloom.
You want to talk about some U.S. Nationals history? Check this out. The final round in 1990, Ed the Ace in the Miller car in the near lane, Tom Hoover in the far lane. Ed would win it. He's won funny car 5 times, more than anybody, including John Force. He's won in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s in the flopper category.
And Ed the Ace McCullough is hanging out with us in the booth today. When we come back, we will go to Funny Car, where Tommy Johnson Jr. and John Force kick it off. TJ in the Make-A-Wish car sits high in the points. How high? 4th. He will be taking on the man number 2 in the standards, John Force, whose record is simply unbelievable.